That's the one.
Because what you have to do, you have to select, then press, and then do the volume.
Then do the
It's in
volume.
here, but I haven't figured out to me.
Okay.
Just let me just try it out.
Okay. Let's do it from here. That's it. Oh, that should be it. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming today. So it's nearly 10 past 6 and we're going to have what we normally do. At this time we have a Bhagavad Gita class where we read from Bhagavad Gita every single day. And so today we are almost towards the end of it. So we're doing from chapter 18, verse 65 and 66. So before we start, we just recite a few prayers and do a bit of kirtan, and then that's us in the mood for the class. Okay. A very simple few word that we sing. You can all just join in with us. That'd be very nice of you. Thank you. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Gokul Nanda, Radha Gokul Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jayo Radha Gokul Nanda, Radha Gokul Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Okay. All right. So the verses up on the screen on both sides. We're actually doing two verses today, verse 65 and 66. So, as most of you know, so before we start, we'll ask the Lord to be here present with us. So we just say very simple prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we all know that the Bhagavad Gita is a very special book, special in the sense that it's the words of Lord Krishna that he spoke in the book format for us to read and understand and literally hear him as he was speaking it. So we know there's 18 chapters and there's 3 subject matters, so chapter 1 to 6, and then you've got 7 to 12, and then you've got 13 to 18. And they deal with the topics, subject matters of karma, bhakti and jnana. So Krishna spoke to Arjuna on the battlefield because Arjuna was very confused and perplexed. In a bit of a dilemma actually. And in modern times we're pretty much the same as well. We're sort of quite often confused and trying to deal with difficulties, and the only way out of that is sometimes we look for help from others. We're looking for mentors, some guides, or someone who can actually help us. So in a similar way, Krishna became Arjuna's guide and his guru. So chapter 18 is basically like a bite-sized summary of all the chapters. So he's condensed it all in this chapter, which is quite interesting because he's spoken a lot of the stuff before. It's like, you know, when you have to explain to someone, sometimes you have to repeat it again and again if somebody doesn't understand. I know it can be frustrating sometimes. Even I get that at work sometimes. How do you do this? How do you do this? It just doesn't sink in. So once someone tells you 2, 3, 4 times how to do something, then you say, okay, it makes sense now. Okay, so that's what it is. So chapter 18 is called the perfection of renunciation. So renunciation basically means when you give up everything. You know, you sort of say, I don't want nothing to do with this material world. You know, I solely depend on Krishna. And that's what's sort of meant by renunciation, when you give up. So today's verse, we've got 2 of them actually. That's one of them, verse 66, and we're also going to be doing verse 55. Now these verses are quoted quite often by Srila Prabhupada, at least about 1,400 times. So you'll be surprised how many times Srila Prabhupada has actually quoted these verses. So they are very, very important. Actually, these 2 verses, the entire Krishna conscious philosophy is in these 2 verses. If you can understand these 2 verses, you've understood Krishna consciousness. But the thing is, it's so hard to understand it. It's hard, but at the same time, it's easy if you go into the depth of the meaning of it. So we start off with verse 65 to start with. It's quite I think a lot of people will know this verse. Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yajimam namaskuru mam evashyasi satyam te pratijane priyosemi, which translation by Srila Prabhupada is, always think of me, be devoted to me, worship me, offer obeisance to me, and by doing so you will certainly come to me. This is my pledge to you, for you are very dear to me. So, in a nutshell, he's just telling us what to do. It's there. Think of me, devoted to me, become devoted to me, worship me, offer obeisances to me. And just by doing these 4 things, you can come to me. Okay, I don't know if the purport's quite long. Does anyone want me to read the purport or not? I think we're quite familiar with it. Yeah. 1865. Okay. Yeah, I can just go. It's quite okay. I don't think I've got have I got it on here? I don't think I have got it. Okay, let me see if I got it on here. No, not that one. That's the one. Right, I can just read the purport of this one. It says, the most confidential part of knowledge is that one should become a pure devotee of Krishna and always think of him and act for him. One should not become an official mediator. Life should always be so molded that one will always have the chance to think of Krishna. One should always act in such a way that his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout the 24 hours he cannot think anything but of Krishna. And the Lord's promise is that anyone who is in such pure Krishna consciousness will certainly return to the abode of Krishna, where he will be engaged in the association of Krishna face to face. This most confidential part of knowledge is spoken to Arjuna because he is his dear friend of Krishna. Everyone who follows the path of Arjuna can become a dear friend to Krishna and obtain the same perfection as Arjuna. So, right. Okay, so just say a quick. Om Gyanatimrindasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Jai Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapstaya Bhutle Sri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatapdeshtarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasade Gaur Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so what Krishna is emphasizing there is the importance of devotional service. It's just, he's saying, think of me, be devoted to me, worship me, and offer obeisance to me. And he describes how important this is, devotional service. So chapter 9, if you go back to chapter 9, text 1 and text 2, and the chapter ends. These three verses are very key. And literally, Krishna repeats them verbatimly in chapter 18. So the first verse, chapter 9, text 1, Krishna says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge with realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of all miseries of material existence. So, he said you shouldn't be envious of him. And then text 2 says, this knowledge is a king of education, the most recent of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Okay, this is Krishna saying this is the education you really need. Any other education is good in a sense, but it's not the real stuff that you need to know about. You need to know about what happens to you. You know, there's so much other information about, but this is the one. So, Krishna is saying, don't be envious of me. We see Krishna in so many different ways, how he does things, and everybody sort of think, okay, shall I do this or shall I not do this? We all say Krishna has all the opulences, and you think, why don't I have any of the opulences? But, you can't try to start to compare yourself with Krishna. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, A small child can't compare with his father. Oh, if he drives a car, I need to drive a similar car. Or if he's got this, I need this. Because we're constantly comparing. That's the sort of world we live in, constantly comparing. But we can't compare or imitate what Krishna does. Krishna could lift a whole mountain on a small finger for 7 days. If I was just to hold like that in my hand, I could probably hold it for about 7 minutes maximum. After my arm will get tired, So there's no way we should imitate or be envious of Krishna. And the knowledge he's giving, it's the perfect knowledge. He tells you everything you need to know about life, what you should be doing in life, how you should be conducting your life, how you should be living your life, how you should treat everyone. That all comes into it. How you build relationships, how you stay with relationships, and how you, everyday things, do you bear that burden on your mind? Do you dwell on those thoughts? Because sometimes those thoughts, you're dwelling on those thoughts in your mind 24/7, and yet the person who's done something or said something to you, he's totally ignored it. He's in his own blissful world, and then there you are sitting, and you're in constant suffering for someone said or done, and he's got on with what he's doing, but you're sitting there thinking, why me? Why did it happen? But everything happens for a reason, because we all carry our own karma. Okay, so whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We can't say, no, that's not going to happen to you, but it will happen. And so this is what Krishna is saying. And how would you overcome these? Krishna says, he says, Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji man nas guru amab evishya yuktayam Atmanam mat pranaya in 934. That's what he says. A very key thing he says. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisance to me. Worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. And that's exactly what Krishna says in verse 65. He says, I think he just changes the last line, I think, if that's it. It's pretty much verbatim same. Manmana mahabhagavato madhyaji mam namaskaru mam evasya satyam te pratijane priyosami. So it's exactly the same, verbatim, word to word. So he's repeating it twice. So this is very powerful what Krishna is saying there. So these two verses, 65 and 66, are so significant. Krishna is giving his most confidential knowledge and the supreme instructions for everyone to follow. Why was he doing that? Because Krishna is acting on our behalf. Because all the calamities, all the difficulties that we go through, now we think, oh, I'm the only person going through these calamities because I'm doing X, Y, Z. But Krishna was there standing on the chariot with Krishna. Again, we have family, we have relatives, we have uncles, we have aunts. We have work to do. We have responsibilities in a similar way. When Arjuna was looking, he goes, I've got my relations on that side. I've got my teachers on that side. Do I really want to kill them? And all those people, they might be married, they got children, they got families, they got wives, what's going to happen to them? That dilemma crossed his mind as well. So Arjuna stood there with Krishna on our behalf, so we can understand the dilemmas for every single day that we go. So what's Krishna stating here? On verse 65. Krishna reminds us to think of me. He's saying constantly think of me. Now how do you think of Krishna? We would say you think with your mind. Yeah, that's what we do. But can we really control our mind? No, we can't, can we? It's so hard to control, not even for a single minute. If you think you're going to sit there quietly like this, close your eyes and meditate, your mind is so active, it's going to flick to somewhere else. You could think, okay, you know what? I need to go on a holiday. You start thinking, oh yeah, I can go to Florida, I'll do this. Or I'll go to India, I want to do this. Within a space of a minute, your mind is here, there, everywhere. So you can't control it. Whether you're young, whether you're old, even when you're sleeping, the mind is still thinking, constantly going around and around. So we get tired ourselves, but the mind never gets tired. It's active 24/7. And even if it did sort of slow down a bit, what do they say? An idle mind is devil's workshop. You think of something else to do. It thinks many things. We focus on this. But what Krishna is trying to say is, think of me. Whatever activity you do, bring it around to Krishna. Think of Krishna. I'm like, if you're going out for a walk in the park, you think, wow, this is what Krishna's, you see all these varieties of trees, plants, you think, wow, Krishna's arranged all this. You see all these animals in the farms. Yeah. And you see all these things, that everything's arranged so perfectly by Krishna. So you need to constantly think of Krishna. Now, why does Krishna, in verse 65, says, one must elevate his mind? Because Krishna says, we need to elevate our mind. Because the problem is, when you elevate your mind, you want to fix your mind on Krishna. So Bhagavad 6.5 says, one must elevate himself by his own mind and not degrade himself. You can either make the mind your friend or your enemy. It depends which way you go. So if you degrade your mind, you never think of Krishna, you're going to move away from him. But if you think of Krishna all the time, if you elevate your mind, this is why we say high thinking. Prabhupada always put the emphasis on high thinking and simple living. High thinking means think of Krishna all the time. That way, you can move closer to him. When you want to get to know someone, nowadays people have their biographies. You see, I want to know what this person was doing. So you read his biography, you get to understand that person. And the only way you can understand is like if you move towards that person. But if you say, I'm not worried about that person, it doesn't really bother me. But what you want to understand what's going on. So that's what Krishna says. Think of me 24/7. Shri Shri Radha Gokul Bhagwan Ji ki jai, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Govinda Tai ki jai. So Krishna says, think of me 24. And what is Krishna saying when he says, think of me 24/7? He doesn't want anything from you. He doesn't say, look, you know what, give me $50 here, or, you got a really fabulous high-class position, I'll accept you. Yeah, you're pretty good high up, you got good sense. Oh, you're very famous. Yeah, I think I'll go with it. Now, Krishna's all famous. He's got everything. He's got position. He's got power. He's got wealth. He's got everything. But he doesn't want any of that. What he's looking for is our sincerity and our love and our dedication. Now, quite often we think, okay, love and dedication. How do we find out more about Krishna? How can we understand what does he actually mean by love and dedication? The only way we can find out about it is we need to consult. Like if you want to find out about anything, we consult a book. Yeah. So Krishna has given us the Bhagavad Gita. We've got the Srimad Bhagavatam, and there's so many other books that Krishna has given us. So we have to consult the Guru, a Sadhu, and the Shastra, because they have all the information relevant for us that we need to find out about Krishna. What he does, where he lives, what he looks like, his pastimes, everything is about him, his description. Everything is there. So when you constantly think of Krishna this way, you're making your mind your friend and not your enemy. There's 101 ways you can make your mind work against you, make him your enemy. But thinking of Krishna constantly with everything you do, from the moment you wake up to the food you eat, to the way you talk, to what you listen to what you see, everything affects your mind. And that's what Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness. You have to be conscious of Krishna all around you 24/7. That's Krishna consciousness. So when the mind, Bhagavad 6.6 states, for one who has conquered the mind is best of his friends. But for one who's failed to do so, the mind will be his greatest enemy. Look at Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. And we only celebrated Lord Nrsimha's appearance day yesterday. But look at Hiranyakashipu. His mind, he thought of Krishna in a negative way. He thought Vishnu was his greatest enemy. Anything to do with Krishna is no. He didn't make him his friend, but he made him his enemy. In one aspect, we're not saying we should imitate this, but the thing is, you can either make your mind your friend and your enemy. The way that Ravana and Hiranyakashipu, they made him his enemy. But they were constantly, still, if you think of it in the other context, they were still constantly thinking of Krishna, even though they were in the state where they're enemy. But we're not at that level where we could think negatively of Krishna. But Hiranyakashipu, even though he thought negatively of Krishna, he still got liberated by Krishna. Right? So there's always constant battle in our mind, good or bad, It's like, sometimes when we get praised, we feel good, get puffed up. And then when we get told off for something, we feel really down. And the mind says, hey, how can that guy tell you off? It's like when you're at work, you do something, oh, you haven't done this right, go back and do it again. You think, oh, I've just spent like 2 hours doing this. Why? So the mind's going to say, he's your enemy. And that from the moment he said something to you, that person's going to become your enemy. And you're thinking, right, your bad thoughts would start coming for that person. So we know that this material world that we live in is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So Krishna says we should control the mind. So we need to control the mind with our senses. We have so many desires. So Krishna says initially, Man mana, always think of me, constantly with all activities. You know, how do you use your senses? You use your eyes to look at Krishna's form, your ears to listen about Krishna, your nose to smell the garlands of Krishna, and the best of all is tongue to have prasadam of Krishna, and also to do kirtan. So there's two aspects to that. So then we have, then sometimes we think, well, how can I really do all this? But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, verse 18, the perfect example of this, how we can use all our senses in the service of Krishna, is given of King Ambrisha, where he used his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, he used his speech in glorifying the qualities of Krishna, his hands in cleaning the temple, and his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord. So he engaged all his senses for Krishna. And then the tongue for tasting and prasadam. So this is the potency that here Krishna has. And obviously, through that purification, where every single part of your sense is towards Krishna, you will get purification. Then Krishna said, Mada Bhakto, become my devotee. Now how do you become a devotee? We approach a guru. Because why do we need to approach a guru? Because the gurus, they realized souls, they've seen everything. Because they say, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 34 says, learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively with reverence and surrender service unto him. Such an enlightened saint can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So when we go to see a spiritual master, he tells us four things, the four regulatory principles to make us better human beings. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. That will elevate our mind and our soul. Then he also says to us, do 16 rounds every day, attend classes, listen classes like we're all doing, do some service, have prasadam. That will help control our mind. Then Krishna says in this verse 65, Madhyai Mama Namaskuru, worship me, pay your obeisances. Very simple. We think how? We all got a picture of Krishna at home, we've got a small temple at home. Yeah, do arti, do some worship at home. Simple offering. Okay? Because Krishna says, if one offers me if one offers me with devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I will delightfully partake in that. If it's offered to me with love and devotion. So that's all he's looking for, love and devotion again. And then what's one thing that we should always do? He's saying, offer obeisances to me, bow down before the Lord at the temple. Sometimes you just see, if you're old, your back hurts or something, fair enough, that's a different matter. But whenever we come in the temple, if you've got a temple at home, bow down before the Lord. That's a reflection of humility on your part. And it just takes literally about a minute or 2 minutes to bow down. And this must be done with love and affection, not, oh yeah, I've got to quickly bow down. No, nicely. That's what Krishna looks for. When you do things nicely, okay. Krishna gives us so many opportunities to do things. And, we go to Rath Yatra, what's the opportunity there that we have? We're given an opportunity to serve the Lord. Yeah? We see we are able to pull the cart. The Lord comes out, gives everyone a chance. You don't have to be, you can be anyone. That's your 2 minutes of service where everyone's given a chance to pull the Lord. Yeah? And then what's the other thing that you do? You get a chance to sweep the Lord as the Rath is coming forward. So you have that opportunity. That's the least service that a common man can do. And then you think, how can we do that? How, with that one simple service, are we able to obtain the love of Krishna? Because you're being so humble, so that you're able to sweep the floor. Because the example given is Maharaj Pratapudra. He's the king of Orissa. He's always constantly very, very busy with his kingdom. Yet he made a point to sweep the temple of Lord Jagannath during the festival. Because he realized no matter how important he is, He's a king himself, but he must accept the supremacy of the Lord. And that's why he bowed down in front of the Lord. He swept the path. So any kind of service, there's so many opportunities here at the temple. Cooking, cleaning, Gaushala, car park, so many. The maturity of our devotional service doesn't depend on the number of years we've been practicing, but it depends on how genuinely, how in our heart that we want to see Krishna and we want to remember Krishna. We've gone through so many lifetimes. Now we've got this opportunity. In this material world, nothing is guaranteed, not even this body of ours. Everything just set time and it goes. But that's one thing Krishna is saying here. Krishna assures you that he gives that 100% guarantee. It's not like, a 30-day guarantee or 28-day guarantee or a 2-year guarantee. This is a lifetime warranty that he's giving to you, that if you do these 4 things, worship me, become my devotee, pay obeisance to me, you will come back to me. Follow the 4 regulated principles. Just do these things and I'll take you back to me. And that's a solid guarantee that he's giving us, Because Maya, when we think of Krishna, Maya's thinking, oh, this fellow's trying to become a devotee. Let me put hurdles in the way so he can't become a devotee. And then sometimes we back off, you say, oh, this is too much for me. But then if you have a determination, effort in your mind, you say, yes, I want to become a devotee. I want to serve the Lord. And by doing all these devotional activity, Prati Jana Priyosemi, we become very dear to Krishna. And that's all he wants. These simple service. Which brings us nicely onto our next verse, which is there on the screen, verse 66, which goes, Sarva dharmam pritijay mam ekam shranam vrajaha aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshasyami masuchaha. So now Krishna, he's telling us the path to follow. And then he says, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my dear friend. And not only was he saying that to Arjuna, he's saying that to all of us. We are all his dear friends. We are all very dear to him. Don't think because he spoke to Arjuna on the battlefield that we don't matter. We do. We are born in this material world. But why were we born here? Because we wanted to enjoy without Krishna. And we had that minute independence. But now we've come under the influence of Maya. Is there any enjoyment in this material world? No, there isn't. We're constantly being bombarded by things, pressures, worries about this. We're being punished. You want to enjoy, but you can only enjoy for a certain length of time, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. After that, our worries, our miseries start. It's like when someone starts drinking. He starts drinking for about an hour, 2 hours, he feels happy, not a care in the world. But as soon as the effect of the drink's worn off, oh my God, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. I'm worried about this. So this is why we need to take shelter of Krishna. Just like a baby, small baby can't do nothing on its own. It depends on the mother. Similarly, we must depend on Krishna. Why? You think, why should we depend on Krishna? But why? What's so important? Because Krishna says in chapter 15, Mama vansho jiva loke jiva bhutan sanatana manha shastya indriyani praktis tatani karshanti. The embodied souls in this material world are in my eternal fragmental parts. Bound by material nature, they are struggling with the 6 senses, including the mind. That's why it's so hard to enjoy here. We need to take shelter of Krishna. Because serve him, then everything become blissful for us. Because what does Krishna says? How can we make our life simple, peaceful, elegant, loving for devotional service to him? 9.20 says, Yat karoshi yad asnani yad juyoshi dadasi tat yat tapasya kauntaya tat kurvasya mada arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblations to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as a gift, and whatever austerities you perform, O Santa Kunti, do them as an offering to me. if you offer whatever you're doing to Krishna, he will look after you. Because we're taking shelter of him. That's the way you take shelter of Krishna. But then, we are so ignorant. We think, you know what, really? Is Krishna really going to reciprocate with me? I want to see instant results, but we don't see the instant results. But that's our fault. That's the way we've been. Because every morning, when you come for Mangalati, we sing in the morning. We say, Om Jnana Timirindasya Jnananjala Shalakya Jakshur Unumiltanyena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master has opened my eyes with a torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance to him. So that's key. You need a spiritual master. You need a guide. You need someone to tell you who is Krishna, who is the Lord, where he lives, what he does. How do you offer things to him? With love and devotion. He will guide you, because obviously we don't have the eyes to see Krishna. We don't have the mental capacity to think of Krishna. But the Guru, the spiritual master, they have seen the truth, they know it, and they talk from experience. See, everything in this material world, everything is temporary. This table could last 100 years. This laptop probably 10 years. We probably live a maximum 100, 110. Everything eventually is going to decay, whether you're a plant, animal, everything will decay. There's infinite time when everything will finish. But we have so much attachment, even to this body, we spend so much time on this, that, and the other. One day it's going to decay. Whether you're in a human body, a woman's body, a white body, black body, brown body, or even if you're nobody, there will come a time when you are no more. But that spirit spark, the Atma in there, which is connected to Krishna, that will remain connected with Krishna. And that is a super soul. And that is what Krishna always protects. He's not worried about anything. He's worried. It's like this dhoti kurta I'm wearing. I'm wearing it today. I'll take it off and get another one on. The similar way we do with our bodies. Dispose of this body. And when the soul inside is thinking, you know what, this body can't take me anymore. Okay, I better move to another one. And that's exactly what he does. So our time, we don't know how much time we have. Everyone's got infinite time. Today, tomorrow. We've got to think fast of doing service for Krishna. And we need to be really, really focused and determined. Because in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, verse 1, chapter 1, verse 10, it says, O learned one, in the iron age of Kali, men are almost always have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, disturbed. So we need to make our home our temple. This is not a permanent place. We're trying to make a permanent place, in this material world, where everything is temporary. When you think the Queen of England, she had everything. But what did she take with her at the end? Nothing. Her Buckingham Palace is still there. Nothing's gone with her. Sooner or later, we're going to have to leave this place, And when we go, it's going to be one of the things. You've got Janam Mrityu Jara Vyadi, Dukkha Durdoshanam, birth, disease, old age, and death. No one likes that. So that's why we have to get connected to Krishna. Sometimes we forget that this is all temporary. And every now and then we get a kick in the backside. My mind says, wake up. Your closest friend might be ill in hospital. That's a wake-up call. You might have an injury. It's a wake-up call. So many things happen all around you. It's a constant wake-up call that Krishna is giving. Hey, you're not here permanently, You've only got set time. With this human body, do service to me. But we think we're here permanently. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm not going to die. Nothing will happen to me. And it's like a child. He goes to school. He's thinking, exam, I've got it in 2 years' time. Don't worry, I've got plenty of time to study. But when the final exam comes, he's not ready for it. He's going to be failure. And that's what's going to happen to us. We need to prepare ourselves for that final moment, which is the biggest exam. Are we going to be able to pass it? Because Krishna says, the earlier you start, the earlier your mind will be focused. Because if you think of it, who had the first Mangal Darshan, Mangalati Darshan? Just think of it. It's Parikshit Maharaj, when he was in the womb of his mother. He was so small. He had darshan then of the Supreme Lord, face to face. Yeah? And then when you think about listening, we always emphasize you must listen, you must listen, you must listen. Right? Prahlad Maharaj, in his mother's womb, Narad Muni was telling him about Lord Vishnu, about Krishna. So from a very young age with his mother, he was listening everything about Krishna. Okay, he does this, he does that. So you can see the importance of listening and taking darshan from the very, very young age up to, and you've got to carry on with this, you know. That's why Krishna says at the end, he says, Antakale cha mameva smarmukva kalevaram yat prayasit samad bhavam yati naste asra samaste. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. You know, Krishna says, do everything that you have to do every day, but become detached. You know, just depend on Krishna. Do service for him in your normal day-to-day life. You know, our supreme dharma, our supreme occupation, Krishna states in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Verse 6. He goes, the supreme occupation of all humanity is that by which men can attain the loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, you just need to develop service for Krishna and love for Krishna. There's 9 processes how we can get to him. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worship, praying. As a servant, that's what he's asking us to do. Any of these 4 processes, you can take to anyone, and slowly you become attracted to Lord Krishna. But what is he looking for? Krishna protects our devotional service. That's what he is. But what does he always ask from us? 3 things. Overchant my glories, bow down before me, and worship me. 3 things, that is all you've got to do. And then Prahlad Maharaj states, okay, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Verse 23, chanting Krishna's holy name, Gita and glories, is considered especially powerful during the present age of Kali Yuga, which we are. And there is a nice song that goes, I'm just going to read a few lines. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you have heard it, but the essence of Krishna consciousness is sort of put in there. If you think of how it's coming, when you think of Bhishma Dev on the battlefield, he saw Krishna face to face. So when he saw him, he left his body. And this is what we want to try and do. It goes, I'm just going to read a few lines, not all of it, but if you get a chance, you can look at it. It says, Itna to karna swami, jab pran tan se nikle, Govinda naam lekar, tab pran tan se nikle. Shri Ganga ji ka tat ho, Yamuna ji ka vamsivat ho, mere samvarya nikat ho, jab pran tan se nikle. This is the essence of Krishna. This is what we're all aiming for. Right? Shri Vrindavan ka stal ho, aur mere mukh pe tulsi dal ho. Vishnu charna ka jal ho, jab pran tan se nikle. He's saying, I should have a tulsi leaf in my mouth. I should be thinking of Krishna. And he should be standing before me when I leave this body. This is what we're aiming for. This is the art of Krishna consciousness. And this is what we should all go for. Okay. So I'm not going to say what, but you can obviously look it up. It's a very, very powerful lines that encapsulate everything Krishna consciousness that we need to know. And then at the end, Krishna says, when Krishna says, Moksha Syami Masuchaha, you will come to me, we can see example. Yesterday was Lord Nrsimhadev's Parents' Day. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22.136 gives practical examples of people who have followed these principles and they have been liberated and Krishna has looked after them. The one yesterday, Lord Nrsimhadev, simply, sorry, let me start again. I'm jumping one up, okay. The first one, like I said, was Parikshit Maharaj. He had the darshan of the Lord in the womb of his mother. But at the end, what happened? For 7 days constantly, he was hearing about the Lord. He constantly thought, and he got liberated. Sukadev Goswami, he got perfection simply by reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prahlad Maharaj yesterday, like Hiranyakashipu's day, he attained perfection by just remembering the Lord. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, attained just by massaging the legs of Lord Mahavishnu. Maharaj Prithu attained the perfection just by doing deity worship. So you can see how all these things are very important, and you can. And Akuruji just obtained perfection by offering prayers to the Lord. And Hanumanji, what did he do? Just by serving Lord Ramchandra. So he's serving with mind, body, and words. And Arjuna, simply by being his dear friend, he got liberated. And then Bali Maharaj, what did he do? By dedicating everything at the lotus feet of Krishna. And then we can see it from our own example, Srila Prabhupada. It's right there in front of our eyes. We just need to take it. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it so easy. In Kali Yuga, all you got to do is chant Hare Krishna. So if everybody lifts their hands in the air, yeah, and just chant with me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's the only thing. If you can't do anything, just do this. Your life will be happy. Thank you. Hare Krishna.